Do you have to signify who's here?
Oh, right, Amanda's not here and she's not on Zoom either, so usually Lori takes the attendance.
Oh, she does, you don't?
Right, if
Okay. And, oh, right, okay.
Amanda was on Zoom, then I would recognize each member of the board.
At the table is,
Not really, unless we feel the need to have them
that's the whole
speak to
agenda,
us.
it's a big purchase.
Yeah, I would like to know what his history is, his, hers, their.
Want me to tell you,
If you have some knowledge, it would help.
he owns a couple dealerships in Connecticut as well as in the Boston area.
Okay,
Associated with different. But
all
it's
right, so he's not an upstart.
no, he has a background. And everybody at Dillon's or at Gunn's aware of him and that's why it's being sold.
Did he also buy the lot down by Applebee's, you know? That's the only thing I wanted to ask.
I don't know about that part of it. That's private property, it's their property, so. What they do with it has nothing to do with us unless they want to store cars.
No, that's true. It was just a
Yeah,
question. It's
Sell cars from.
it's,
Yeah, it's a big, good piece of property. and it's-
I kind of thought he was gonna make a new building down there and just sort of shut down Dillon up here, but
That was what I had heard, so.
Some rumor Freedom Bank was gonna be sold. Oh,
Hmm. So, at this point, we can't get any direct answers, but it sounds like Randy had some valuable information for us, so I personally would like to entertain a motion on agenda number 1.
make a motion that we. Permit. CAG Holdings. Greenfield LLC. Doing business at Greenfield Chevrolet. Their. Motor vehicle dealer's license. At 54 Main Street.
Do we have a second? I will second it. In the interest of further discussion. So you have concerns because we don't have
I'm
any.
probably gonna abstain. Yeah, I'm not comfortable, I don't know.
So your issue is the fact that we don't have a representative here.
my issue is we've been called to a special meeting to address this guy. He apparently needs this in a hurry, or else he could wait till our next meeting, and he's not here. I think it's rude, and I'm not gonna back up the motion. You know, I had things I could do today, you know?
I could tell you how hard it was to get me here on time.
Well, that's why I suggested tabling it. Oh, he's on now.
No,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
Do you know who that is?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, my knowledge of Robert's Rules of Order is escaping me as far as,
well, you got your vote, you got your second, and you asked for discussion.
well,
I
there's,
should call the vote, I guess.
it's a 5-member board and you were going to abstain and you didn't voice whether, I haven't called for the vote yet.
Well, I've learned I can't abstain because if I abstain, that means it's a yes.
Well, I might change I might change my vote to no then. But that's the question, that's what I did.
the thing is, the guy's gone through it. The
If-
sale has been,
If we reject it, how long
So-
before they have, I
They
mean,
have
how
to shut-
before they could actually reapply?
have to shut down Dillon's in,
Right,
because Dillon doesn't have a license.
We're not, in my mind, I'm not rejecting it. I'm just abstaining because.
Well, if you say
We
no,
were called for a special meeting here. It's an important transaction in this community.
And that's
And,
why we're here
Yeah, and
to do that,
it doesn't.
because it's needed for the community.
Exactly, and that's our right, just not to say, well,
Because we don't have any privileged information, we're gonna dump it. Sorry,
yeah, that,
you know,
there's really nothing to even go with this. I don't even know anything about it. You're the one that picked up some gossip that he owned.
it's not gossip, I researched it.
Okay,
I wanted to find out who this person was, so I researched it.
And there's a little bit on one of the back of these when it says where do you own places?
James, the iron in Whitman, Connecticut.
You know.
Yeah,
Just
This,
trying to figure it
this
out.
particular application doesn't give us all the numbers that we feel that we need to know,
Yeah.
which is actually none of
I'm
our
happy to change
business.
that vote to no.
Whether it's all for $1 or
Right,
50.
but you know, it's one of these things where it's a very important
yes, it is.
business in this town.
It is.
So we're gonna hold
And-
it up then.
And we should know, maybe somebody else knows this guy.
He has dealerships in Stafford, Connecticut. He has
Putnam.
dealerships all over. Connecticut.
Right, but does he have to deal with any other departments or anything in town here that,
No,
No.
he wants to sell cars.
So,
and
Pardon me?
I would think McGovern should be here too. They want to get this
Um,
property, right?
at this point, we're going to just pause this and see if Lori can reach my office
Otherwise,
by phone.
why are we on this board? This is-
And we shouldn't discuss it any farther while Lori's out of the room because she would be recording, taking notes, so.
Can you pause? Can you take a recess?
That's. So the meeting at this time, which is 4:08, is in recess at the moment.
For how long?
10 minutes. So it's now 4:20. We will resume the meeting of the Greenfield Board of Citizens Commissioners. And at present, we have this meeting is being recorded by the city. If you are recording this meeting, please notify us now.
I am not.
Thank you. So we have a motion on the floor to, I would say, grant the license to CAG Holdings, Greenfield LLC, doing business as Greenfield Chevrolet Class 1 Motor Vehicle Dealer License at 54 Main Street. The motion was made and seconded, and so now we have, obviously, we need some information, Mr. Castergini. Is it
Pastor, correct.
You are not familiar to any of us. We just have a little bit of your information about your dealerships in Connecticut.
Correct.
What do you have to offer the city of Greenfield?
Well, I think the easiest way to describe it is, to describe my business. Most, the automobile business, operates on a couple different levels. You've got, major metro dealerships, that operate in, bigger cities, Hartford, Boston, that type of thing. And then you have dealerships that are in, smaller communities, such as Greenfield. And all of my stores operate in markets, the size, a similar size to Greenfield of, Old Saybrook, Connecticut, Putnam, Connecticut, Stafford Springs, Connecticut, which is actually smaller than Greenfield, and East Greenwich, Rhode Island. So, what I can tell you is, the bigger dealerships, a lot of those guys, the way they operate them is, there's a lot of population. So, there's a lot of people that come and go. These smaller dealerships require a lot of community involvement. And, I can tell you that, where one of our, our marketing director is actually on the board for the Old Saybrook Chamber of Commerce. We're very involved with the Putnam's Chamber of Commerce. Same thing as the Tolland Chamber of Commerce for Stafford. So what I can tell you is that's, we are experienced in operating in smaller markets, and, that's, I feel our secret sauce is, we don't spend an awful lot of money on advertising. We take those dollars and we try to put it into the community.
Oh, with some Phil Cornett, I don't know if you can see me or hear me, but you can hear me hopefully. So what are the names of your dealerships? They all the same?
No, they're all of us, and again, kind of, on the same basis of what we're talking about, we generally brand our stores with the, surrounding the market. So the stores in Old Saybrook are Shoreline Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Shoreline Hyundai. The area of Old Saybrook that's referred to as the Shoreline area. Stafford Springs is where our other Chrysler Jeep dealership is. That one is branded Stafford Chrysler Jeep. And the only one that doesn't have, a community name to it is Cargill Chevrolet in Putnam, Connecticut. But I chose not to change the name because Cargill was around for 42 years when we bought it. So I just felt, that name recognition was, just the same.
What would the name in Greenfield be?
Greenfield Chevrolet and Greenfield Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
You indicate that in your dealerships, you participate, your crew participates in the city or towns that they're in. Are you planning on bringing people in to these facilities to man them? Or are you going to utilize strictly Greenfield people? What's your plan there?
Well, the beauty of those two stores are, the people that are currently there are pretty capable. Either, and I know, a lot of them reside in the town, and I will be retaining every employee. So, the only change in management will be myself, and the current general manager who's there now will be staying as well.
Some of us are curious too about that plot of land that McGovern owned near the Applebee's. Is that part
Yeah,
of the purchase?
that's not part of this deal.
No.
No.
And when you say you want to be involved with the community, like going back to the Dillon Chevrolet, they would I'm on a couple community like Kiwanis organizations, and we do fundraisers, and the Dillon was always really good about participating. So I would hope that people take an interest in some of our local nonprofits and what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do at all of our stores. I'll give you an example. I mean, obviously, getting involved in community events is something that we do often. It's basically built into our ad budget. So I'll tell you one of the things that we did that was very successful in Old Saybrook, and if you want, I can email you the radio spot so you can listen to it. But one of the things that we did that got us, an immediate boost, and I can actually tell you too, it won us Business of the Year through the Old Saybrook Chamber of Commerce. What we do is we buy 60-second radio spots. We take the first 15 seconds and the last 15 seconds, and we donate the middle 30 seconds to a local business that may or may not be able to afford that type of marketing on their own. And, we work that through the Chamber of Commerce, and we let them assist us with which businesses to, to offer it to. The very first one we did was a barber shop, and they recommended us to him because during COVID, he was shut down for that entire length of time. So, we used him as, as the first donor, and then we switch it out twice a month to try to get as many local businesses involved. It's pretty neat.
How about sports teams for children?
Sure. Yep, every one of our stores has some sponsorship like that. So yeah, we would absolutely be involved with that in Greenfield.
Yeah, we'll have to bust our little league team down to play Old Saybrook. probably.
There you go. There you go.
You said you live in East Greenwich, Connecticut?
No. I live in Bozrah, Connecticut, which is a small town near Norwich.
Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased that you were able to reach us by your iPhone and appreciate that
Yeah,
because
and I'd like
we
to
felt-
apologize for that. That was my mistake. I think what I did was I think I proofread the email too quickly, and I saw the 17th, and I automatically put 7 o'clock in my calendar. So I apologize for that. And I want to thank you. I know this is a special meeting
yes,
that you did just for us, and I'd like to thank all of you for that. I appreciate it.
So you'll be up and running before Christmas?
No, I think because there's a lot of moving pieces, especially with banking and licensing and all this other stuff. I'm trying to target the first week in January.
Can you give us any, just from a business standpoint, McGovern wasn't here that long. So,
Yeah, I mean, I can only speculate, why, why he decided to sell. My guess would be, he's grown very quickly. I've known Matt for about a decade, and he went from one dealership in Newton, Mass, to I think he's got almost 40 stores now, from Massachusetts through New York and New Jersey. Like I was saying in the beginning of the call, these smaller market stores need to be run a different way. They need to have a personal touch to it, and sometimes when you have 40 or so dealerships, it's very difficult to do. So I would imagine, and again, I'm just speculating, I don't know exactly what his motivation was, but that would probably be my guess.
thank you.
well, it's good to know that you operate other stores, I guess we would say, in
Sure.
smaller population towns and cities.
Yes.
So that kind of,
You have any, can you share with us if you have any changes projected, like on, because it seems like, you have the buildings up on Federal Street, right? And then you got the buildings down on Main Street.
Yeah. So
Any
the
synergy there, or?
Yeah, my long-term plan, unfortunately, I think for a short period of time on Main Street, I know Matt bought that liquor store and knocked it down, and then there were plans to buy the bank next to it, but they elected not to sell. In my eyes, eventually, if they do sell, that would be perfect to buy that parcel and put the two dealerships together on the same lot on Main Street, but that's just not in the stars for now. So Chevrolet will remain where it is. The Chrysler Jeep Dodge operation, the only thing different is it will move the showroom off of Federal Street and bring it down to the original location where Brown's was years ago. It's not ideal not being on the main road, but again, in this day and age, pretty much everything, marketing's done on the internet. So, it's pretty easy for the, customer to find where it is. But I do think it will solve a problem because, I've spent, just a short period of time looking at the operation, and it seemed like there's some confusion for customers, where to bring their car for service, because there's a service area, there's a sales area. So that operation, we're going to combine it into one.
Beacon Street's easy to find.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nothing's too
Yeah,
far in Greenfield.
yeah, and it was a car dealership forever before that. So people will know where it is, and I think it'll just solve that problem of customer trying to figure out you know, which location to go to, which one for sales, which one for service. That'll solve that problem.
Well, we appreciate your being able to spend some time with us. Please stay on though, because second on the agenda is the purchase of the 39 Beacon Street.
Okay.
So we do have the motion on the floor that would approve this or grant this license. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
and it's unanimous. So
Thank
you
you.
have the one on Main Street. So now, second on the agenda, Alexander J. Costagini Jr. / CAG Holdings Greenfield 2 LLC, doing business as Greenfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Class 1 motor vehicle dealer license at 39 Beacon Street. So I think we've gotten lots of information. I would call for a vote or,
I'll make a motion that we accept the application for CAG Holdings Greenfield 2 LLC to do business as Greenfield Chrysler Dodge Ram Jeep Ram to be housed at 39 Beacon Street in Greenfield.
I'll second it.
we have a motion as just stated. Any further questions, discussion?
Going back, I just was curious when we mentioned that plot of land, because people will ask, was there any kind of discussion where you like maybe offered that land and part of the transaction and you declined, or that wasn't on the table?
I'm not sure what his intentions are, and if you'd like, I'll reach out to Matt and get you an answer on that. I just didn't, I didn't need it for my operation, so, you know, just
Yeah,
to,
but yeah, for the town, it'd be probably nice to know
sure.
if anything's gonna happen there.
I'll get you,
That's
I'll get you the answer on that, absolutely.
We can probably get it from a mechanic.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I'm sure it's that type of business, you know, it's, everybody knows what, everything that's going on, so I'm sure you could.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
welcome to the, or continued business in a small town.
a small city of Greenfield. So, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion as stated signify by saying aye,
Aye.
and it is unanimous.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you at your open house.
Absolutely, you're all invited. We'll have the finest hot dogs we can find.
Oh, sweet.
Poor Randy.
Get some maple sugar on fried dough and you'll get me.
I'm in. All
All
right. I
Today we
appreciate it.
got to talk to you.
Thank
Thank-
you.
Happy
Thank you very
holidays. Merry
Bye now.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, so our other agenda is updates from the mayor's office, and it said we don't have any, so it's good. And I would like to be able to just discuss with the rest of the board the issue of recording, so that if we have reason that the council wants to see us. Yes, we are. It's part of our agenda.
So we would have a question for the mayor of the town, whether we can ever go to executive session and what that would entail.
So executive session, it's spelled out, pretty clearly on the, open meeting laws on the website, and I can make sure you guys have that all printed out. It can be gone into for personal and private information. That could include criminal histories, bank account information, dollar figures, potentially. And then we are working on mitigating anybody being able to see anything with a simple folder system.
That's my main
Yeah. If
concern.
you put it like this,
if we had a barrier in front of each of ours
Mhm.
where the camera
Yep.
is shooting.
And even in this, and even if we would have, and I'll make sure you guys all have a binder, folder, stuff like that. If we have it like this, you should be able to read things.
That's true, but I would not hold
Yeah.
my binder up like that.
Sure, but we can provide
That would be
barrier to make
acceptable.
sure that, and that would help with just regular streaming as well, because, you know, yeah, people are supposed to tell you if they're recording, but if there's a nefarious person,
And they could capture one little segment which has all that pertinent information on the application that's presented in our packets. And as a result, we would be putting it out there for the whole world to see this person's. Now, there are things that are redacted on it when we have applications, but who knows what someone with bad intentions would capture and use.
so I
So-
think that we'll make sure that there are mitigation strategies. There are things at Staples, I saw them there today, that they're thingies, that's what they're probably called, right? But I will.
Barriers.
absolutely- That's the word, yes. But I will make sure it's all taken care of, that nothing is visible from the camera. And then, when Lori and I meet before the meetings, we will talk about what could potentially need to be gone into executive session for. And, make sure that those are all kind of grouped together. And then when you come, you don't have to vote in executive session, you can do the discussion in executive session, and then your votes could be public. And,
I think that's how it works anyway.
yeah, so.
But you still have to come out of executive session before you adjourn. the meeting.
Yes, yes. So we would make sure that executive session happened probably toward the beginning of the meeting as well, so that it could all kind of get done.
Yes, if we have a whole
Yeah.
room full of people waiting for us, it would be nice to move the.
Yep.
Well, they would have to leave the room then.
They would have to leave the room, or we could go into my office.
Right.
I have better lighting, so, you know, it's not as bright.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll see what the town council has to say.
yeah,
So at this point, we have the minutes from our December 3rd meeting before us. Lori, even though you were not feeling all that well, here you are presenting us with what we need, and I appreciate that.
I've reviewed the minutes and I haven't seen anything jump out, so
All right,
based on that, I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of the meeting for December 3rd of the licensing commission.
Second,
all right. Any discussion? Shouldn't be.
It's the file, I have to abstain. It was-
Right, you weren't here. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye. So, and I did vote on that one. Okay, so
Next meeting is,
January something. Oh, it's the 21st. Okay, all right. So,
So
I will
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
apologize.
second,
all right, the meeting is adjourned.
Randy, the town's created a budget for you to fly
Uh,
$1,000 a
4:41.
meeting.
yeah. All right.
41.